Medical correspondent Dr. Darian Sutton joins me now for more on this. First off, congratulations on the new title.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Happy to be here.
Happy to have you. So, Dr. Sutton, let's talk about boosters. Let's start with the short but not so simple question. Who needs them and why?
So that's a question that's going to be decided today. The CDC advisory panel meets today. As you know, the FDA approved the new shot yesterday for the new booster that's going to be likely approved today by the CDC advisory panel. And then we wait for the likely approval from the CDC director. Right now, what we know is that the FDA has approved the shot for those over the age of 6 months. The goal of the meeting today is to decide at what times do people get it, who should get it, what contraindications to not getting it, and any restrictions.
What do we know about the efficacy and possible side effects so far?
So the side effects that were listed in the preliminary studies seem to be very similar to what we've seen in terms of side effects from prior shots. The arm soreness, the fatigue, the muscle aches, and sometimes even a fever. And as far as the effectiveness, that's still yet to be fully determined. From prior boosters, we can see that effectiveness ranges from 40% up to 50, 60, almost 70% reduction in the risk of hospitalization, because that's the goal of these shots, to reduce your risk of getting hospitalized and dying from COVID-19.
And what about when you're talking about kids, particularly the little ones? What do parents need to know when trying to make the decision as to whether a booster is right for their kids?
I think that discussion is up for the parent and also in a discussion with the pediatrician. Obviously, we know that children are at a lower risk comparative to, for example, older adults, but the risk isn't zero. And children are likely going to be introduced into environments where they're surrounded by a lot of other kids, as you know, and that's going to likely lead them to having an infection. For some kids, unfortunately, it seems as though they're always having a cold, and it's likely one of the reasons.
As a mother of a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, can confirm.
And the fever seems to be never ending, and that's likely just recurrent infections of different types. So as we step into the new year, the goal is to protect your child as best as possible, and that includes updating their vaccine status, and not just for COVID-19, but also for the flu. And we also have new therapeutics for infants as far as protecting them for RSV.
What are you watching for from the CDC meeting today? I
would like to see how they were going to discuss the information. The CDC advisory panel meetings are public and openly casted, and so you can join in and watch. Most people might not have the time, 4, 6, 7 hours to discuss. And then at the end, there's a public
discussion. That's why we pay you, right? To watch it all and then give us the
clip notes. And I'm going to sit there with bells and whistles. I'm so excited. And at the end, there's a public discussion, and then we'll see that vote. And so I'm really excited to see the specific analytics on that efficacy and also likely recommendations as a physician who to prescribe it to and who to advise to get it.
In the meantime, what can people do to protect themselves, not only from COVID, but the many other germs and bugs you just talked to us about?
The basic precautions and mechanisms of mitigation that we've learned. You know, wearing a mask when you're in a high-risk environment. I don't wear a mask most of my day, but when I walk into a room and it feels like it's not heavy, good ventilation, or if it feels like a lot of people are too close to me, I'm going to put that mask on, mainly because I know that the rates of COVID, as you said, are increasing over the past 8 weeks. Washing our hands and making sure that if you feel symptomatic, to protect yourself and also to make sure you shield yourself from others. So wear that mask.
All right. Medical correspondent Dr. Darian Sutton, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.